And here they come. Time for gold in the compound women's team.
Ready to deliver those arrows and looking to secure a gold medal out here this morning. Some veteran, experienced archers, others making their first appearance on the field of play for a World Cup final. On target number 1, representing the United States of America, Madrid 2019 World Youth Champion Savannah van der Weer. Cortina 2018 Field Champion of the World, Paige Pierce. And 15 arrow match world record holder Linda Ochoa Anderson. On target number 2, representing the Russian Federation, Madrid 2019 World Youth Champion Arina Cherkezhova. Las Vegas 2012 Indoor World Champion Victoria Baljanova. And ladies and gentlemen, the reigning champion of the world, Natalia Avdieva. The line judge for this matchup is Bettina Grazmüller.
Well, here we go. USA versus Russia for compound women's team gold. USA are lining up with Linda Ochoa Anderson, Paige Pierce, and Savannah van der Weer. Russia with Natalia Avdieva, the reigning world champion, Victoria Balzanova, and Arina Cherkezhova. Nikki, you'd normally fancy the Americans, but van der Weer coming into the team for Alexis Ruiz, who Ruiz didn't have a great time here in Lausanne. Russia have got a chance here.
Yeah, it's possible. I think I'd still put USA as the favourites. You know, really, really strong team. It's going to be a great match.
It certainly is, and it will be the USA on target number 1, who will get us underway. This for gold in Lausanne. Good sighter from Ochoa Anderson. Up steps the 21-year-old van der Weer, former world youth champion.
Nine.
No longer hold there for Paige Pierce, but 29 out of a possible 30 is a good start for the USA. Bit of pressure on the Russians, Nikki.
Yeah, I mean, these compounds are shooting over 50 metres. They've really got to get 10s to be competitive. Good conditions, nice and still. We do expect them to get in the middle.
Little grimace there from Avdieva. Well, junior member of the team, Arina Cherkezhova, just 17 years old, in the centre of the target.
Nine.
Bit of a long hold. Just trailing by a point at the moment. Timing is a key thing, isn't it? With the 6 arrows, 3 rotation, or 2 rotations of the archers shooting 3 in a row, USA I think got a bit more time.
Yeah, it works out to be about 20 seconds each archer has for each arrow. So they do a segment of 3, they switch and alternate with the other team. But so you can take a bit more time the first time round, but that really leaves you short time at the second segment. So they've got to watch the clock and talk to each other.
Looking very composed, Savannah van der Weer. Well, cumulative scoring compound. So Still plenty of time for Russia to get back into this, but they certainly will be behind after the first end.
9.
Another really long hold and straight into the 8 there. So I don't know how much time they've got left, but I think they've got to get through this shot fairly quickly. As a team, they can see the clock, they can talk to each other, give that teammate some feedback. Sometimes you'll hear them counting down on this last arrow.
Nine.
Well, you saw Avdieva giving her teammate the countdown, as Nikki said, but trailing by 5 after the first end. You called it, Nikki. Look, it's a big mix-up in this American team. Chara Anderson changing allegiance and coming in from Mexico for the USA, definitely settled straight into the team. But Savannah Van der Veer, also a new feature. How does that affect the dynamics?
Yeah, so, I mean, Savannah obviously qualified a bit higher than Alexis Ruiz, so she's come into the team. You normally have 4 archers can come to this World Cup, and then the top 3 qualify the team score, and then the team can actually choose which of those 4 come in and to be the 3 to shoot the team round. So they are the same all the way through the rounds. So Savannah being the better archer over Alexis this time round. But, I mean, it is an individual sport. They're out there on the line on their own, but, you know, they're talking to each other. There's communication between the team, support between each other, you know, telling them what the conditions are like. We did see a bit of wind, didn't we, with the flag, so it's important that there's good communication. But, you know, USA's a massive country, and I don't know how much these guys get to train together normally, but they've been here through the week. They'll have practiced on the practice field together, and, you know, they'll always practice those different team rotations, so any of the 4 of them could make up that team of 3.
Yeah, and of course they took gold in Guatemala a few weeks ago at the first stage of this Hyundai Archery World Cup series. So USA going for back-to-back consecutive golds and, well, in the box seat, leading by 5 after end number 1. So the Russians will shoot first at the start of the second. Looks like we're ready to go. It's time for end number 2. Atmosphere in the American camp. It's calm on the Russian side, but a little bit more serious. Natalia Avdieva, reigning world champion, will get the second end underway.
9.
Such a difference in these two. Natalia, very quick arrow. Teammate follows with a much slower arrow. And, sadly in the 7, but you usually put the most inexperienced member of the team in the middle. That kind of protects them a little bit. They don't have to open up, they don't have to close, so it's a bit of a more comfortable position to try and protect the sort of weakest member of your team, perhaps. You know, most inexperienced you put there.
Just starting to hear the wind pick up a little bit there.
Could you hear Paige Pierce there talking her through the shot all the time, constantly keeping it strong, you know, nice words that you want to hear when you're at full draw. So this is where the team really makes that difference to that individual on the line.
9. 10.
Well, you can definitely see the camaraderie amongst the American team, all supporting each other. It's a little quieter on the Russian side, isn't it?
Yeah, there's not as much communication. Did you just see that little mini flinch there from Natalia? So she thought the shot was about to go off. Her body told her to relax, but it hadn't. So she had to get back into full draw and make that shot go off.
Good recovery as well to score a 10.
Eight.
Well, it's been a struggle here for Cherkezova, the 17-year-old, in this second end, a 7 and an 8, when the Russians were already under a bit of pressure. Chance here for a big lead.
Trust it. Be strong. Keep pulling. Nice and strong. Fight through it. Wait it out.
10.
Same spot. I like that spot.
You're all good. Okay. All right. Nice and strong. Push out.
Catching all the lines. That's good.
10.
Got plenty of time.
Savannah.
It's a 9.
Where's the 9 Sorry, she can punch.
9.
Well, an opportunity for a big lead. It's not too bad at all.
Well, there you have it,
10 and 2 nines
number 2 on the
give
target
the
here,
Americans
of course,
a
the sun is
9-point lead after just 2 ends. I'll tell you what is impressive though, Nikki. Paige Pierce seems to have moved into the role as the sort of team leader now for the USA, talking, encouraging all the way through, keeping a relaxed air, almost a little bit of fun as well.
Yeah, it's important between that team, you know, to keep communicating. They're obviously in a happy place, they're shooting well. If you can keep that communication going, you just feel really well supported when you're out there on the line. You've got those teammates right behind you. It just feels less pressure when you've got the three of you out there.
I mean, I don't want to write the Russians off, but 9 points behind after 2 ends. What on earth are they going to be talking about?
Yeah, I think the problem is that they don't really seem to be talking, do they? It's very quiet over there, obviously unhappy, but you've got to pick yourself up out of that place. Anything can happen, literally anything. So, you know, stay in the game, keep shooting the best arrows you can, keep supporting each other. We've got to see them pick themselves up again here.
USA looking strong. Achara Anderson leading the way out. Has not missed the 10 ring so far in this match. And that certainly helps to settle the nerves for the rest of the team. USA in a very strong position here, leading 116 to 107 after 2 ends.
As the Russian Federation look to rebound on target number 2, they will shoot first when we continue.
I'm getting a close-up of the arrows there for the Russians and the Americans. They are just waiting for the targets to be cleared and the range declared safe by the line judge. Looks like we are about ready to go. It's time for end number 3. So Russia trailing by 9 will shoot first. Avdieva has been leading the way out for the Russian Federation team, and she does so again in end number 3. Staring down the barrel of a gun, but as Nikki Hunt, our expert analyst, said, anything can happen.
9.
Just think this is an interesting style. Look at the front hand here. The way she points her finger, setting up the bow, and then she just relaxes her fingers and bends them inside the grip. Everyone's got a different style. It's just an interesting style there. I think it helps really not grip the bow.
You talk about not gripping the bow. You mean not squeezing it too hard? Does that put a bit of tension into the shot?
Yeah, that front hand. So, I mean, if you put pressure and tension in there, you can torque the bow, so that can send arrows particularly left and right. So it's important that that front hand is. It's almost like some coaches would say. Imagine you're holding a small bird or something. So you need a bit of a grip, but not too much that you're going to make an effect to the bow. We want the bow to fall forward with the power of the arrow flying forward.
7 anchor and trust it nice and strong.
Oh, Charlie Anderson's front hand looking very relaxed there. 4 10s so far from her 4 shots. Paige Pierce talking in the background, encouraging her to her 5th consecutive 10. And look how relaxed they look. There's a real difference on the shooting line here. It's all serious from Savannah van der Veer while she's going through her process. But she looks very relaxed. And she puts it down the middle as well. Well, they're just getting stronger and stronger here, and we see the contrast now. That relaxed American team. We flick over to the other side of the shooting line, and the seriousness and strain almost of the competition is on the faces of the Russian team. Their first 10 of this end from Avdieva. 17-year-old. Arina Chikazova. Can she do better than the 8 that she scored in the last 2 arrows? No, not yet.
Two of the Russians shooting with the wrist releases as well, another difference, which is very common through Russia. We see that a lot, shooting with the first finger on the trigger. Yeah, got a good shot of it there. Bracelet around the wrist. You see with the Americans, this is a handheld release. You see the thumb just going around the trigger.
9 or 8.
Various different release aids you can get. So Linda there shooting with a pure trigger. I think Savannah has got a hinge type release where she'll be pulling with that back tension across her back. All the Americans just going off to the left. I wonder if there's a bit of a change in the wind conditions here, or just a small change.
Yeah, grouping's good, just a little left.
Yeah, they started left, didn't they? The first end, they were all just off to the left. Then they centred, and now they've just gone off to the left again, and nothing on the right-hand side of their target faces at all.
Well, despite a couple of 8s there, the USA maintaining their lead, in fact, increasing it by a point. Interesting to see those 2 arrows flying off. Even Paige Pierce's was a little left. You think we can just about hear the wind on the mics out there on the range. Do you think it is the wind?
I'm not sure. They were obviously talking about it as a team just then with the actions they were making. So, yeah, I'm not quite sure whether it's odd for all 3 of them to go left. So you would think there must be something going on there.
We get a good close-up of the various releases from the 3 Americans. And just a little sign of frustration there from Paige Pierce. But they have such a commanding lead. What do you think is going to be being said here? Because they're clearly talking to the 17-year-old Chekazova here.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably just, feeling the nerves, you're on the stage in these finals. So, just giving her a bit of confidence, go out here, you might not win now, but go out here and enjoy it. Use this experience for next time you're here. Learn what you can. That's really important. So I'm sure they'll be giving her some good friendly support in that team.
Yeah, well, you look at sort of almost supportive, nurturing side on the left there with the Russians. Avdieva perhaps being a little bit more stern now, saying, just do this, keep it simple. And there's almost an air of a party on the USA side of the shooting line. Relaxed, and Van der Veer having a little jig in the break. Well, an 11-point lead for the USA after 3. It's time to go to end number 4. And it will be Natalia Avdieva to lead us out again.
They have a little wind flag on the top of the target you just saw in that last shot, so the archers can just about see that. Recurves can really see it, but compounds, because they're looking through this scope, they've got that little bubble at the front, they can't really see the conditions around the target because they're so zoomed in. So that's where your teammates really are important. You see the flags to the right of the field, you know, they're given much more information, and if your teammates can give you that information as you're up at full draw on the line, then that's really critical.
This time it's Balazanova who's drifted high. It's marked for a measure. Looked like an 8 to me.
Yeah, I think that might have just been slightly wide. So if they touch the black line, it's going to be called up, but I think we could see a little bit of red there, probably an 8.
10.
Impressive, isn't she, Savannah Van der Veer?
Yeah, that. I mean, look at that first target face they've got on the left there. It's just absolutely beautiful, isn't it? As a team, it's all of them pretty much. I think 1-9 in the first end as they were just sighting in. Keep that
10.
Oh, was that? I don't know if that was just out. You know, that last one. Yeah, it's been starred.
Good spot. Stadium announcer calling a 10, but marked on our scoreboard for a measure, but still very commanding from the USA. Avdieva.
8.
Oh, she's dropped it into the 8 now. That's the first 8 from her. Been 9s and 10s so far. But Cherkezova, the 17-year-old, put a 10 in with her first arrow in this 4th end. Well, you can just start to see the breeze picking up here. It's not been consistently like this. So it has picked up. It looks a little bit of a headwind as well.
Yeah, I mean, head and tail winds can make a factor too. People think, you know, it's just left and right, but, you know, if a headwind's pushing at you, it might drop the arrows down. So, you know, it can move things around. But these compounds are really powerful. The maximum draw weight they can pull is 60 pounds, so arrow speed of around 300 feet a second. At 50 metres here, they're not too affected by the wind. It's really just if you get moved off the middle, that's the critical factor.
10.
Nice and strong. Fight through it. Nice and strong.
9 or 10.
Another one for a measure, but again, that one looked clear 9 to me. But look at the potential lead that the USA could have after this 4th end. Maximised by a 10 from Paige Pierce, a 2-2-9 against a 2-1-4. This is over, isn't it, Nikki?
Number 1 for
Yeah, I mean, I think given even any of those measures, we're well and truly away with that result. So, you know, really dominating, really strong for the Americans. They've come out here and performed really, really well.
Yeah, I mean, it was over almost before it began with a 5-point lead in the first end, and they just built on that, just missing out on a perfect at the end. But
the American archers on the field.
It's amazing that you've got Achara Anderson coming into this USA team. You've got Van der Veer coming in replacement of Ruiz, with Paige Pierce being the constant from Guatemala, where they won the gold medal. It seems that they've got a bit of a conveyor belt of compound women.
Yeah, I mean, the depth is just so high in America. It's a huge sport in America. You know, they're all fighting for these places, and that's why we've seen Ruiz kicked out this time, because she qualified 4th out of the 4 girls, so she didn't make the team. And that kind of competition is what drives you, makes you a better team. So, you know, huge depth.
Yeah, well, back-to-back golds for the USA, having won the first stage in Guatemala. The USA replacing Ruiz with Van der Veer. Still too good for the Russian Federation team. USA taking it 229 to 214 here in Lausanne.
It is official. You can see it out at the end of the field of play. The judge validating the results. Team USA grabbing gold. Russian Federation walking away with a silver medal here in Lausanne, Switzerland. Compound Saturday commences now. Many more matches to look forward to. And we'll be shifting over, of course, to the men's side of the field of play in a matter of moments. And we'll see.
Well, there we have it. The photographs are taken, and looks like the measure did reduce the USA's score to 228, but it was still big enough score to take out the Russian Federation. USA, Achara Anderson, Pierce, and Van der Veer beating Russia for gold in the compound women's team event.